Welcome to part 2 of Let's Play Creature of Havoc by Steve Jackson. At the end of the last part I was about to fight a claw beast with skill 9 and stamina 14. Okay, let's do this. Okay, there he is again, lovely. What a handsome fellow. Okay, so 9, 14, let's go. Okay, so let's type that in there. Yep, claw beast. Whoops, missed out the letter. There we go. Skill 9, stamina 14. Okay. Now don't forget that if I ever roll a double on my attack round, it's instant death for him. Okay, my skill is 11. Let's go. Right, here's the trusty dice program. Okay, so we're rolling for him first. He gets a 10. That's 19. I get an 8. That's 19. So 19 all. So no one loses any stamina. Okay, next. Okay, and again he gets a 3. That's 12. I get a 7. That's 18. So 12 to 18. Okay, next. Oh yeah, how stupid of me. I forgot to take off the stamina, because I won that round, didn't I? Okay, so he's down to 12. How many points of stamina did he take off her? Do I take off again? It's different in this book, isn't it? Uh, 2 points from his stamina score. Yeah, it's 2 for me and 1 for if he hurts me, because I'm a beast, aren't I? And it's instant death if I score a double. Yes, where is it? Oh, there it is. Roll a double, yep, single blow, good. Okay, go back to 170. Okay, let's carry on. Right, where was I? It's his attack round. Oh no, yeah, it was his, and he rolled an 8, yeah, because that wasn't a double last time, was it? Otherwise I would have killed him instantly. Anyway, so that's 8 for him, which is 17. 17 and 8 for me, which is 19. And I don't get a double, because otherwise that would be easy, wouldn't it? So 17 to 19. He got a double and I didn't, so that's nice. Okay, he goes down to 10. Okay, next. Okay, he gets a 6, that's 15. I get a 7, that's 18. So 15 to 18. Okay, that means he's down to 8 now. Brilliant. Okay, next. He gets an 8, that's 17. I get a 7, that's 18. So 17 to 18, I win again. He goes down to 6, good. Right. Okay, he gets a 4, that's 13. I get a 4, that's instant death because I got a double. Okay, that's it, good. Instant death. Fantastic, good. Okay, so he's immediately down to 0. I just write in here, got double. Okay, so that means he's dead. Good, that's the end of him. Okie dokie, let's get rid of the buzzing because it's tremendously irritating. There we go, jolly good. Right, okay. If you defeat the creature, turn to 389. I've resolved the combat. Right. Okie dokie. There you are. Your foe is defeated and you feel justifiably proud. Your gaze passes from the dead creature to its lair. But there is nothing of interest, and the sickening stench of Clawbeast makes you want to leave quickly. There are 3 ways onwards. The passage behind you, a cave entrance in the western wall, and another in the northern wall. What will your next action be? Roll 1 die. If the roll is 1 to 4, turn to 230. If the roll is 5 or 6, turn to 165. Okay. Now before I do that, okay. me just think. Okay. Yeah, apparently if I get a 1 to 4, I get +2 stamina, so let's just roll a die. Alright, roll 1 die, and I get a 4. Right, good. So, I am going now to 230. Right. There we go. Oh, here we go. Your vengeance on the claw beast is not yet complete. You must satisfy your lust for the spoils of victory. You kneel by its side and feast on the flesh of your victim. You may add 2 stamina points for the meal, then turn to 165. I don't need any stamina points, but I thought you just said that I couldn't stand the stench of it. Now I'm eating it. Anyway, turn to 165. Oh, absolutely revolting. Right. Okay, did I actually need the stamina? Let me just check. No, I didn't. Right, okay. Okay, roll 1 die. If you roll 1 to 3, you decide to head north into the wide cave entrance ahead of you, 10 to 408. If you roll 4 to 6, you take the narrower cave entrance which leads west, 10 to 344. Okay, now, I need this to be 4 to 6, because I just do. So, if I don't get 4 to 6, I'm rolling it again. So I need this to be 4 to 6. There we go, and again. No, 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 there we are. Okay, that was the 4th attempt, good. Okay, so we've got a 6, quote unquote. Alright, so I'm taking the narrower cave entrance which leads west, 10 to 344. Yeah, apparently if I don't roll 4 to 6 here, I get quote unquote varied deaths. I just forgot what page number I need. So yeah, needed that to be 4 to 6 there. Anyway, 344 is what I wanted. Okay. Okay, the passage continues westwards but begins to narrow after a few paces. It bends first to the left, then to the right. Not in the front, go for the back. At one point you disturb a group of rats feasting on some partially decomposed remains, but they scurry off into the blackness as you pass by. Suddenly, sounds in the distance alert you and you stop. Ahead there is a sharp bend to the south, and flickering light and dancing shadows warn you of danger. Pardon me, you yawned there. For a few moments you hesitate, but your emotions take over. A raging storm seems to be gathering within. Your eyes narrow, your lips curl back to reveal your sharp teeth. You flex your powerful muscles and step forward. Fearlessly you step round the corner to face whatever awaits you. 10 to 205. Okay, 205 we're going. Had this mouse for years. I'm surprised it still works properly. Famous last words, of course. Yeah, I had it for at least 9 years. Roaring like... I don't like touchpads. They're just a pain in the backside to use. And pointing sticks. I did have one a few years ago on my last laptop, but they're a pain in the backside as well. A mouse is the only way to go, really. Anyway, roaring like an enraged demon, you rush into the open chamber, ready to take on whatever is inside. Terrified shrieks come from the small party of adventurers huddling round a makeshift campfire in the centre of the area. 3 figures are warming themselves by the fire. One wears shiny clothes that clink as he moves. Another is dressed in red and also grows long, dark hair from his chin. The third is a tiny creature with polished hide on his chest. He has no hair on his chin, but has plenty on his feet, which he has been holding up to warm at the fire. Your eyes fix on the smallest of the 3. Your breathing gets heavier, and a feeling of pure hatred grips you. Without hesitating, you stomp across and grab the miserable hobbit with your claws. The other 2 are caught off balance and are slow to react. The hobbit has no weapon and should be an easy victim. Hobbit, skill 5, stamina 6. If you defeat the creature in 3 straight attack rounds, turn to 160. If it takes longer than 3 rounds, turn to 86. right, blimey. Yeah, it's best if I do it in 3 straight attack rounds. Yeah, more on that in a moment. Just read what happens. Okay, so skill 5, stamina 6, and remember, if I get a double, that means it dies instantly. So Hobbit. I'm sure J.R.R. Tolkien won't mind the use of his copyrighted name of a creature. Did he make up the word Hobbit? I don't know. I've never read Hobbit anywhere else apart from in these books or in that book. Not that I like The Lord of the Rings. It's one of those trendy films, you know. Oh yes, everyone started liking Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit just because they made films about it. No one cared about them. Only particular people read the books before the films came out. Then the films came out. Like, oh yes, we all like Lord of the Rings. It's a magical adventure. It's all has those annoying actors in it with weird names like Elijah Wood and Orlando Bloom. Who named him that? And why? Orlando Bloom. And who else is in it? Liver Tyler. And who else? Yeah, the only decent person who was in it was John Rhys Davies, because he was Arturo in Sliders, which I like. Although after Arturo left, it went rubbish. Who else? Oh yeah, Mikey from the Goonies is in it as well. Yeah. Oh, that awful Ian McKellen, he's in it. Can't stand him. Has Sean been in it? But he was only in the first one, wasn't he? And the bloke who played Agent Smith from The Matrix, he was in it. Anyway, I digress. Oh, and Ian Holm, of course. Yeah, I tried reading the book. They're just not my cup of tea. Not my cup of tea at all, really. Yeah, not my cup of tea. But the films I've watched. I tried watching the Hobbit films as well. I just couldn't get into them. That awful, what's his name, Martin Freeman. I can't stand him. Ugh. Anyway, skill 5, stamina 6, wasn't it? No, I'd much rather be doing these books. Anyway. Okay, so we're rolling for him first. 6 plus 5 is 11, and he gets a double. Oh, I get a double as well. I get an 8 as double. He's instantly dead. Alright, good. It's into that. So it only took me 1 attack round. So... okay, I just got to double. So he's instantly dead. That was lucky, wasn't it? That's because I was moaning about Martin Freeman again. I did that in one of my Populous videos, if you remember. He has that same expression on his face all the time, like sort of slightly bemused look, as if people around him are just crazy and he's the only sane one. And he has that other annoying things about him that I just can't stand, which I won't go into. But yeah. Anyway, enough of that. I'll stop moaning about those things now. Right, anyway, we killed him instantly. Good. Because we got a double. Whoops, that's my background. Don't want that. Yeah, Mountain Clouds on the website slimeland.com. Anyway, yeah, found that website from back in the day. There was this game we all played at school called One Slime Volleyball, and that was back in 2002. And you can still play it. If you search Google or whatever for One Slime Volleyball, you find this website called Wedge's Homepage from New Zealand, and you can play this weird volleyball game. You can play American football, normal football, cricket, other games based on that. But the game was volleyball, slime volleyball, and it's really hard. I only ever got to I got to the last level, but he's impossible. Anyway, there was, and because I was bored, I put in one, and the way I always found the site was I put in One Slime in Google, and it was the first result that came up. So I put in One Slime and went to the last Google, but then like the 10th Google page, and the website at the bottom was Slimeland, and I searched the site, and it had some good pictures on it, and this that he made himself, and this picture was one of them. It's called Mountain Clouds. He says the clouds look less realistic than the mountain, but I think the mountain looks less realistic if you ask me. But anyway, I don't think he's updated it for years. He had this other game on it called Maze Wars, which was quite good. and also this slime launcher. Anyway, enough of that. But yeah, it's called slimeland.com, I think. I think it still exists. Anyway, so it took... If you defeat the creature in 3 straight attack rounds, then 160. If it takes longer than 3 attack... What if it took fewer than 3 straight attack rounds? So is it, you know... I'll have to go to 160. I suppose because that's the minimum if you just did it normally. But what if it took you only... I mean, you could use luck and do it in 2 without getting the double, but I got the... I'll have to do 160 then, won't I? With no choice. I did it in fewer than 3 straight attack rounds. Okay, here we go. As the creature dies, you sink your teeth into its arm to taste its juicy flesh. That's revolting. Then you remember the other 2 adventurers. The red-robed figure is facing you, pointing little finger of each hand at you and mumbling. The shiny human has grabbed a sword, similar, you remember, to the dwarves, but larger, and is shouting to the other, blah 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 blah. Can't read that. Roll 1 die. If you roll 1 to 3, you decide to head north into the wide cave entrance ahead of you, 10 to 408. If you roll 4 to 6, you take the narrow cave entrance which leads west, 10 to 344. Okay. Apparently, the knight says, control its mind, shaman. It may be able to lead us to that swine-beard cur. Apparently, that's what he says. Okay, so it doesn't really say what I'm supposed to do here. It just says to test luck, but it doesn't say to test luck. So I'll just roll a die and see where we go. Oh no, wait a minute! I'm on the wrong thing, aren't I? I'm supposed to do 160. I've taken the wrong. Oh no! It's missed a page. Oh, it's missed a page. Can you believe? Excuse me one moment. Okay, and I'm back. Okay, yeah, so it's missing a page. So I'm going to have to take the harder route, and say that that it took me longer than 3 rounds and turn to 86. I've no choice because it's missing a page. So I'm going to go to 86, and this should lead me to the same place, but it's harder. It's really irritating. The person who scanned this could at least do all the pages. Okay, when you have finally killed the little creature, you must turn your attention to the other 2 humans. While you have been battling their companion, they have been preparing to attack. The red-robed figure is facing you, pointing the little finger of each hand at you and mumbling. The shiny human has grabbed a sword, similar, you remember, to the dwarfs, but larger, and is shouting to the other. He's actually shouting, control its mind, shaman. It may be able to lead us to that swine-beard cur. So that's what he's saying. You cannot fight both at once. Which will you direct your attention towards? Roll 1 die. If you roll 1 to 4, you decide to take on the shining figure, 10 to 48. If you roll 5 or 6, you turn towards the man in the red robes, 10 to 292. Now, I think, although I can't verify this, I think that on the original page I was at, 160, you test your luck, and if you're lucky, which is obviously more likely, then you attack the man in the red robes, because that's what you want to do. If you attack the shining figure, which is the knight, you can kill the knight, but by the time you've killed the knight, the shaman in the red robes will do a control creature spell, and the adventure ends because you're forced to serve him for the rest of your days because he's done a control creature spell on you, and so you're his slave forever. So you'll want to attack the man in red here. So I'll do it just to see, but so I want a 5 or a 6 here. So it makes it harder to do well if you didn't defeat the Hobbit in fewer than 3 rounds, or 3 rounds or whatever. And I get a 6 anyway, so that was the first attempt. So I'm going to attack the man in the red robes, 292. Sorry about that. I really apologise. I didn't realise one of the pages was missing, so I've had to take the other route. It was either that, or find out painstakingly where I'm supposed to go, and then just sort of skip ahead, really. That's the best I can do. I think I did that in Portal of Evil. Your reaction is immediate. The red-robed human is deep in thought and looks an easy target. You step forward and swipe viciously at him with your claws. He screams and falls to the ground, clutching at his face. You look down at the undefended wretch, and prepare to deliver the death blow, but at that moment you feel a terrible sting in the back, which causes you to bellow and swing round. The remaining adventurer has lunged at you with his sword and succeeded in piercing the scales and flesh on your back. You must lose 2 stamina points for the wound, and then you can face the knight in plate armour. Armoured Knight, skill 8, stamina 9. If you defeat the knight, turn to 446. Just a moment, sorry. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, let's fight the Armoured Knight, even though I shouldn't really have to because the page was missing. But, you know. Armoured Knight. Okay, what was he? Oh, yeah, I've lost 2 stamina points, haven't I? So, lose them now. 19, there we go. Skill 8, stamina 9, okay. Oops, wrong one. Don't need that. Okay, let's do this. Okay, we're rolling for him first. And of course, if he gets, or rather, if I get a double, it's instant death for him. Okay, he gets a 10. That's 18, and he gets a double. 18, and I get a 4. That's 15. So 18 to 15. Okay, that means I lose 1 stamina point. There's only 1 for me, isn't it? Because I'm a creature. Okay. Okay, next. Okay, he gets a 7. That's 15. And I get a 7. That's 19. So 15 to 19. That puts him down to 7. Okay, he gets a 6. That's 14. I get an 8. That's 19. So 14 to 19. That wasn't a double. 14 to 19. That was no double. Okay, he gets a 3. That's 11. I get a 6. That's a double. So that's instant death for him. Okay, so that's the end of him. So I'll just put on the next one that I got that I got double, and that's instant death for him. Okay, good. Let's get rid of the buzzing. Okay, if you defeat the knight, turn to 446. Let's go. Yeah, that 6 I got was a double. Oh, missed it. Here it is. You deliver the death blow and the knight drops to the ground. With the danger now over, your thoughts turn to food. The smell of the still warm hobbit reaches your nostrils and your mouth begins to water. You snatch the creature in one hand and eagerly sink your teeth into its sweet flesh. I wish it wouldn't. Ugh. But this will merely provide a snack for you. Inside his armour, the knight is an impossible meal, but the red-robed wizard groaning on the floor may be a new taste for you to savour. You silence his miserable whimpers with a single deadly slash from your claws. For the tasty meal, you may restore your stamina to its initial level. Okay, good. Well, that's something anyway. Alright, back to 21 then. After you have eaten, you rummage through the adventurer's belongings. Their packs have little to interest you. The hobbit carried a miniature sword, and you find a rolled-up piece of thin parchment in the wizard's robe. All 3 humans carried... There aren't 3 humans, there's 1 hobbit. I thought a hobbit wasn't a human. All 3 humans carried odd-shaped lumps of a doughy substance, perhaps food, although it smells of nothing to you. They all also have small hide pouches containing round, flat objects of shiny metal. You cannot think what these may be for, so you toss them aside. You must now continue your journey. Passages lead off from the chamber. Do I keep the parchment? Okay, I'm gonna. Well, I didn't say I couldn't, so I'm keeping the parchment. Parchment from Wizard. Okay, brilliant. Yeah, now where was I? Passages lead off from the chamber to the north, east and west. You decide to take the passageway to the west. You leave the chamber, your way ahead lit by the flickering fire. Eventually the fire's light becomes too distant to help, and you are groping your way in pitch blackness. Suddenly, a high-pitched twittering sound comes from above you, followed by others. You have disturbed a group of flying creatures, which are now squeaking in alarm as they dart about around you. You swipe at them blindly and catch one or two of them as they dive at you and scratch you with sharp claws, but your scales protect you from any serious harm, and you are soon further along the passage, where these creatures evidently do not venture. The passage turns north. You follow it around the bend to the right and stop in front of a wooden door. There is no other way forward. Would you heave at the door with your shoulder, or is there something else you wish to do? Roll one die. If you roll 1 or 2, turn to 277. If you roll 3 to 6, turn to 101. Okay, that's nothing to do with me, I think. I think that's this one, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, what are we doing here? Oh, apparently according to my directions, if I would have tested my luck, I would have gone to the same place anyway. That if I just defeat the three, if I defeat the hobbits in 3 attack rounds or fewer, I just would have. It just makes it easier to not to have the red robed figure cast its spell on me. Obviously, not doing it made it easier for the red robed figure, for the wizard to cast his spell on me. Anyway, so. Okay, so I'm rolling a die, and yeah, a single die. Let's go. I get a 3. Right, okay, what's that? If you roll 3 to 6, turn to 101. The directions say 1 to 2 or 4 to 6, missing out 3. Anyway, so I rolled 3 to 6, which is 3, which is 3 to 6, so turn to 101. Why can't anyone do anything properly? The door cracks under the force of your blow. A hole appears and you rip the timbers away until it is large enough for you to pass through. Torches are mounted on the wall of the room inside, and there are 2 doors, one to the east and one to the west. There is no furniture of which to speak, but some remains, perhaps of a table and chair, litter the floor among a thin covering of dirty straw. The wood has been broken in what appears to have been a furious battle, the result of which lies before you. He looks friendly, doesn't he? In the centre of the room is a familiar sight. Casting your mind back to the battle you have just won, you recognise the figure of an armoured knight lying face down in the straw. His face is hidden under an elegant helmet decorated with wings coming from above each ear. A dark-bladed sword has entered his body through a gap in his armour through his arm and shoulder. Ouch. Lying next to the knight are 3 other figures. One is similar in stature but wears a tough leather tunic and helmet. A bloody stain around his belly indicates how this adventurer came to grief. The other 2 figures are not so familiar. They are shorter than the others and are dressed in armour of scaly brown hide. They have gnarled, pug-nosed faces with vicious teeth set in their lower jaws. All 4 bodies are long dead. You step forward to get a better look. Suddenly you hear a chomping sound coming from somewhere in the room. In fact, several places, but you cannot see anything which might make a noise. Your eyes pass over the adventurer in leather armour, and you suddenly freeze. While you are watching, a chunk of flesh disappears from his thigh. You watch incredulously for a few moments more, Not only does more flesh disappear from the adventurer's leg, but you also notice the body of one of the pug-nosed creatures twitch as its forearm suddenly loses a fleshy lump. This scene is worrying, and you must decide what to do next. Roll one die. If you roll 1, 2, or 3, you decide to investigate the bodies further, 10 to 234. If you roll 4, 5, or 6, you head quickly for the door to the east, 10 to 168. Okay, I guess we're rolling a die. Okay, rolled a 4. Quickly for the door to the east, 168. Oh, it's not going to be another missing page, is it? Please don't be missing. Oh, good. Yes, good. You make your way cautiously towards the door, horrified by the sight of the bodies slowly disappearing. As you step across one of the pug-nosed creatures, your foot catches something in the air. A screeching noise from somewhere is followed by a yelp of pain from you, as sharp teeth clamp onto your foot. Lose 2 stamina points. Okie dokie, there we go, that's done. The shock causes you to tumble over and this frees your foot, but as you lift yourself up, something is happening in the room. 3 shapes are materializing in front of you. Turn to 447. Oh, here we are. Your eyes widen as 3 scrawny... Yeah, I meant this is where we were just a second ago. Your eyes widen as 3 scrawny creatures form before you. They are thin and angular and move in quick, jerky motions. Although their bodies are covered in a scraggy dark fur, their bony faces are bald with tiny eyes. In the center of each face is an oversized, protruding mouth rimmed with sharp teeth. These vicious little flesh feeders live on carrion. While feeding, they make themselves invisible. There they are. Nasty. Oh, there's the one with the feathered helmet. While feeding, they make themselves invisible to avoid being caught unawares, but in between meals they are both visible and quick-tempered. They now face you, furious that their meals have been interrupted, and you must battle with the creatures. They attack together. Oh no, it's one of those. Okay, so we're fighting these all together. First flesh feeder, second flesh feeder, third flesh feeder. Right, we know how to do this. What happens is that you have to... well, you roll once for them, and then, yeah, you roll once for them, for each of them, and if any of them are higher than you, you lose 1 point of stamina, because that's the rules in this book. However, if you win, well, rather, you can only win if you beat all 3 of them, I think. I think that's how this works. I'll have a look in just a moment. Okay, what do we have? What do you got? 6, 6, 6, 7, 6, 6. Okay. 6, 6, 6, 7, and 6, 6. Right, how does this work again? Okay, so on 447, let's just go back to how we fight these things. Okay. Okay, if you are involved in a fight with more than one opponent, you must choose at the start of each attack round which of the opponents you will be directing your own attack. Roll dice for each of the combatants, blah 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 blah. Oh, I see. So even if the others attack me, I can still score an attack against the one, but I have to choose which one to attack. Well, they're all the same, aren't they, more or less? So I'll just choose to attack the first one and then get rid of them like that, bit by bit. That's how it is. It doesn't work. You can't fight them one at a time in this book, I think. It doesn't say that you can do that unless I'm contradicted later on. Okay, so let's choose to attack the first one. Then I have to roll one for each one. They might hurt me. Okay. Okay, so, yeah, 2 dice. 11 plus 6 is 17. I get 7, that's 18. So 17 to 18 for the first one. Yep, so it's going to take me ages. 17 to 18 for the first one, so he goes down to 4. Now I have to roll a thing for each of them now, don't I? So he got... oh wait, just a moment. Do I roll one for them afterwards or before? Let's do this properly, don't I? Was it normal? Then you must compare attack strength. Okay. Right, so it's him first, then me, then the other two. Right, okay, right. That is settled now. Okay, so it's now them. So they have 6 as well. Let's roll for them as well. 12 and 9. Let's put that in. 12, 18. I'll just put 18 in here. 12. Actually, I don't need to, do I? Because I'm not fighting them yet, am I? I'll just put NA. There we go. And then the other one was 9, wasn't it? Okay, so, yep, so they didn't hurt me. Good. Right, next, I'm rolling for him. 7 plus 6 is 13. 13 plus 20, 13 and 22. Yep, so he gets down to there. Okay. Oh yeah, I'm rolling for him now, aren't I? 7, that's 13, and 13 for the other one. Yeah, control pasted that one. I copied it, and 13 again. Okay, so neither of those hurts me. Okay, now for the first one again. 12 plus 6 is 18. I get 7, that's 18. So we got equal for that one, so 18 to 18. So no one gets hurt. Now I have to roll it for the other two. So I'm on 18. 16 and 10. So 16 and 10. Oops. And 10, obviously that didn't hurt. Fantastic. Okay, 16 and 10. Okay, now for the first one again. 10 at 16, I get 17. So 16 to 17, that means I win. That means he's dead. Good. Right, now we're rolling for the other two. I got 17, didn't I? 14 and 14 and 13. Okay, now we're rolling for the second one because the first one's dead. Okay, he gets 6 again. He gets 13. I get 18. 13, 18, that means he goes down to 5. Now I have to roll for the other one. He gets 8. So that's 8, and then an NA for this one. Okay, good. Next. He gets an 8, that's 14. I get 7, that's 18. So 14 to 18. He goes down to 3. And I'm rolling for him. I'll just put an NA in there. Okay, he gets an 11. That's 17. What do I get? 18. Good. Good, so he doesn't hurt me. Right, okay, next. Rolling for the second one again. 10, that's 16. I get 18. So 16 to 18. Whoops. Whoops. 18 again. Okay, he's down to 1 now. And then we're rolling for the other one. He gets a 5, that's 11. So I get another NA. Okay. Yeah, good. Okay, one more hit needed for the second one. Okay, he gets a 7, that's 13. I get an 8, that's 19. 13 to 19. Alright, that's the second one dead. Still have to roll for the third one again though. 5, that's 11. So he gets another NA. Okay, so he's dead. Now we're just concentrating on the third one. 6, 6. Okay. 7, that's 13. 13 to 22. Okay, down to 4. Lovely. 12 to 18. Why did I put 2? Oh, 22 I meant, didn't I? Yeah, you may be wondering why I keep getting a 7. Result 7. It's because 7 is the most common, because you can get 7 from 1 and 6, 6 and 1, 3 and 4, 4 and 3, 2 and 5 and 5 and 2. That's 6 possibilities out of 36 total possibilities from rolling 2 dice. So it's 6 out of 36, which is 1 out of 6. So when you roll 2 dice, you have 1 out of 6 chance to get a 7. So it's the most likely number that will come up. Yeah, it's the most likely number that will come up. Least likely is, of course, 2, which is only 1 possibility. It's a 1 out of 36 chance of getting 2, and 12, which is also 1 out of 36. You only get 6 and 6. So they're the least likely numbers to come up. Least likely score to come up. Anyway, so that's that. Okay, so rolling again. He's down. He just needs one more now. 11, that's 17. 6, that's 17. So equal. That was close, wasn't it? Okay, one more. Haven't been checking for the doubles, have I? Who cares? 8, that's 14. 6, that's 17. So 14 to 17. And now they're all dead. Good. Just get rid of the buzzing. And that was actually a double, so he died anyway. I'll just put got double now and check in for that. That's pretty redundant. Okay, so they're all dead now. Good. Get rid of the buzzing. Go away. Right. I still don't know if you can hear that. If you defeat them, turn to 89. Yep, 89. Let's go. Oh, it's a big one. You rest for a few moments to catch your breath, and then you survey the room. Your curiosity overcomes you, and you begin to investigate the 7 bodies in the room. The pug-faced orcs are dirty and smelly. You try a mouthful of flesh, but spit it out in disgust. Around their waists they carry small bags which, when ripped open, send a shower of small bones flying across the room. The 2 adventurers are not much more interesting. Similar pouches contain those round pieces of shiny metal which you came across before. They scatter on the floor and you ignore them. The pack on the back of the adventurer in the winged helmet is decorated and attracts your attention. One of the straps breaks as you rip it off his back and grope clumsily inside. You feel something solid. As you fumble angrily with the rucksack, a hard wooden casket drops to the ground and falls open. Inside is a clear, smooth flask which contains swirling purple gas. Your curiosity is captured and your huge clawed hand tries to grasp the delicate flask. But this turns out to be hopeless. Eventually you pick up the casket and drop it on the ground. As luck would have it, the flask jumps in its cradle and lands in such a way that the stopper flips out of the flask. The purple gas within swirls tempestuously, and its vapours seep slowly from the neck of the flask. Turn to 382. One of those vapours, isn't it? Here we go. The gas drifts from the flask, but rather than spreading out, it pulls itself together into a purple cloud and billows up before you. You watch open-mouthed as a shape begins to form in the cloud, and eventually turns into a face which stares deep into your eyes. The face is human-like, but thin and with jagged features. The pupils of its eyes are not round, but are instead serpent-like. Its thin-lipped mouth opens and speaks. Blah 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 blah. Blimey, that's a lot. Can't read that. Your anger mounts and you swipe at the cloud, but your hand passes right through the gas without even disturbing it. The mysterious face blinks slowly and the colour of the cloud flashes momentarily from purple to white and back to purple again. Then the face disappears and the cloud is sucked down back into its flask. Once safely inside the flask, the stopper replaces itself in the neck and the bottle settles into its cradle in the wooden casket. An instant later, the casket and its contents have faded to nothing. You decide you have had enough of this room, but you may add 2 luck points for your fine, which I don't need. Will you leave through the door to the west, turn to 51, or the door to the east, turn to 33? Apparently the vapour said, I am released from my rest. Foul creature, what do you know of the forces with which you tamper? But nonetheless my purpose is ordained. I bestow on you the power of reason. From now on you are in control of your own destiny. And now may I return to my peaceful rest until once more the heavens take their positions. Apparently that's what it said. Okay, now I can, if you notice, I can now decide, will you leave through the door to the west, turn to 51, or the door to the east, turn to 33. Okay, leave through so it tells me to leave through the door to the west, so we're going west, 51. Good, no more rolling dice, for choosing my way anyway. 51. Whoops, that did not mean to do that. You leave the room along a passageway which runs west, your thoughts still dwelling on the mysterious smoke creature. After a short time you find that the passage is bending this way and that through the rocky earth, but your progress is aided by the strange blue glowstones which are set into the roof of the passage. As you progress, glowstones ahead of you light up and bathe the area in an eerie blue light. When you look behind, you can see that they magically turn themselves off. Suddenly, a distant echo reaches your ears and you stop dead in your tracks. Again you hear the sound, and it is coming closer. Footsteps and muffled voices are heading towards you. You are fortunate in having the advantage that your own footsteps are virtually silent, so you continue ahead, ready for a fight with anything that may come along. You approach a bend. A shrill scream pierces the air, and for an instant you are not sure whether it came from your own throat or that of the terrified adventurer with whom you suddenly found yourself nose to nose when you turned the bend. But you recover quickly and slash furiously at the hapless human who is still trying to compose himself after his fright. You catch him across the skimpy leather armour he wears on his chest and send him crashing into the rocky wall, where he loses his grip on the sword he is carrying. His 2 companions are close behind, so he must finish off the strong arm without delay. Strong arm, skill 7, stamina 8. Okay. Skill 7, stamina 8. Okay, let's do this. And don't forget about the double, rolling a double rule. Okay, let's go. Right, skill 7, that's 14, 17 for me. So he's down to 6 now. Next. 8, that's 15, 15 for me as well, so 15 each. So no one hurts each other. 7, that's 14, 20 for me. Was that a double or something? No, of course it wasn't, it was a 9. 3, that's 11, no, 10 for him. Oh, I got a double, and 2 for me. I got snake eyes, I got 1 and 1. Okay, so he got 3, that's 10 for him. And I'll just say 13. Got double. So he's dead. I got the killing blow, got the death blow. Get rid of the buzzing rather, that's it. Okay, if you defeat the warrior, turn to 320. I did, good. As their leader falls, the other 2 adventurers rush to attack. One is a female warrior and the other is a thief. Both are carrying shields and both attack you at the same time. Okay, warrior, thief, 7786. Warrior 7, 7, and thief 8, 6. Okay, I have to attack them together. So let's do the warrior first. Okay, 7 plus 11, that's 18. I get 5, that's 16. So 18 to 16. I have to roll for him as well. So that's 1 stamina point as well. This one's 8, so 12. Oh no, I don't roll again, do I? 12, yeah, that was just 12. So, but that one doesn't hurt me because I got 16. But anyway, the warrior hurt me. I'm doing it in the wrong one, aren't I? Yep. Okay, so I'm down to 18 stamina now. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, so she has 7 skill, 12, 21, good. She's down to 5, I have to roll for him as well. 10, that's 18, and 21. Oh no, I don't roll for me, do I? I already did get 21 though, but yeah. So 18 for him, and then NA for me. Alright, good. She's down to 5 then, good. Okay, next. 11 plus 7, that's 18. 17. Right. Got lucky there, didn't she? Okay, so that's 1 gone, so he needs to beat 17 to hurt me. No, he got a 12. So 12, and then NA here. Okay, so I need to lose another stamina point. Okay. Okay, 7 plus 6 is 13. And I get 16. 13 to 16. Down to 3. And then we're rolling for him as well. 8, that's 16 also. So 16, so it doesn't hurt me because I got 16. Good, next. Okay, she gets 7 plus 6, 13 again. I get 16, exactly like last time. 13 to 16. She's down to 1, but I have to roll for him as well. He gets 8 plus 7, which is 15. So he gets 15, so it doesn't hurt me. Okay, good. Okay, next she gets 3, that's 10. I get 13, so 10 to 13. Wait a minute, that was a snake eyes, wasn't it? So I got a double, obviously. Got double, so that's the end of that. So she's dead anyway. Well, she was dead anyway. Okay, but I have to roll for him as well. 6, that's 14. So he actually got me. So yeah, he got me because I got the snake eyes. So down to 16 now. At least I'll be able to eat them afterwards, hopefully. Right, she's dead. Now we're just fighting the thief. Okay, skill 8, stamina 6. Let's go. 8 plus 7 is 15. 15 to 20. Down to 4. Okay, 10. That's 18 to 19. That's 2. 13 to 16. Good, dead. And now he's dead. Good. Go to the buzzing. There we go. Okay. If you defeat both of them, turn to 281. I did indeed. 281. Oh, here we go. That was lucky. Just landed on it. You poke around the bodies of the 3 dead ruffians. Something shining on the wrist of the 3rd adventurer catches your attention. Clumsily, you rip at the clothing of all 3, eventually exposing 3 objects of interest. The leading adventurer wore around his neck a pendant made of a dull, dark metal on a leather thong. The 3rd adventurer wore 2 wrist bracelets of a shining yellow metal. The other carried a pouch containing 12 small flat discs of a shiny metal. Which of these is of the most interest to you? The dull metal pendant, 10 to 306. The 2 wrist bracelets, 10 to 259. The pouch carrying the containing the discs, 10 to 412. Okay. We want the dull metal pendant, 10 to 306. Oh, missed it. There we go. You are fascinated by the ugly pendant. You carefully hook the leather thong with a claw and pull it free of the adventurer's head. You claw it over in your hand and can see that it is circular with a dull blue stone set in the centre. You stare at the pendant for some time, wondering what to do with it. Then you remember how the adventurer wore it. You are just able to squeeze it over your head, and you carry the pendant proudly around your neck. The pendant has a secret which will be revealed in due course. If you reach a reference which begins "You cannot see a thing," deduct 20 from the reference number you are on at the time and turn to this new reference. You may add 1 luck point for this find, turn to 115. Okay, just write that down. So, what is it? Dull metal pendant. Blimey, I've fought a lot of creatures already. Dull metal pendant. Actually, I'll start this on a new thing, and then new line, and then put in here. Deduct 20 from paragraph number if it starts with inverted comma. You cannot see a thing. Okay. And then inverted comma. Okay. Then new line. Okay, good. Where are we going now? Turn to 115. Before you finally leave the adventurers, you may decide to feed on them. If you do, you gain 4 stamina points. Good. That's what I was thinking about earlier. So we're up to 20 now. Okay. Excuse me one moment. Sorry about that. Where was I? Before you finally leave the adventurers, you may decide to feed on them. If you do, you gain 4 stamina points. Did I do that? Yeah, I did. I just did that, didn't I? Then you continue. All is silent as you walk carefully along the passage. Eventually your ears pick up the sound of running water and the air becomes moist and cool. The sensation would be quite refreshing were it not for an unpleasant smell which gets stronger as the sound of the water becomes louder. Soon you find yourself on a ledge in the face of a rocky cliff. Looking out, you can see you are high over a vast cavern through which a river flows. Leading down from your ledge into the centre of the cavern is a flight of rough-cut stairs. This precarious staircase spans the river and is the only way onwards, but the thought of descending the stairs is not one which fills you with enthusiasm. The narrow steps have been made for human-sized feet, and your large pads will make your descent awkward. The smell, which was unpleasant before, is now horrendous and seems to be coming from the river itself. Its waters are murky brown, and the smell of excrement and decay is overpowering. Nevertheless, your only way on is downwards, so down you must go. Test your luck. If you are lucky, turn to 166. If you are unlucky, turn to 71. Okay, and I will test my luck at the beginning of the next video. So I'm on paragraph 115. I'll just put that in here. Do that, let's save it, close that. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I apologise about the missing page and having to be a bit weird at the start because of that, but nothing I can do about that. I got these from a torrent years ago when I first did Warlock of Firetop Mountain, and I haven't checked through them all. I do own the books, but they're in the garage somewhere in a box, and I can't be bothered to get them out. Even if I could, I can't just read them to you because the experience is looking at the pictures and you reading it yourself. It'd be a bit rubbish if it's just not really a video, if it's just me talking. It'd be more like an audio, if that's a word. Anyway, that's a noun rather. Anyway, so thanks for watching. Next video we'll be testing our luck and descending the stairs. Thanks again and goodbye.